Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm Jeff Hubert, Business Service Manager for Lake County Workforce Development. Today I'll be sharing insights from our experience with work-based learning, an approach that's made a real impact in our community. We'll look at how integrated work-based learning model can open up a career pathway for people of all walks of life, helping them build skills, move forward in their careers, and contribute to a broader economic growth. You'll hear economic growth, economic development today, because that's what this is all about. I'll walk through the strategies we've used, the benefits we've seen, and the few success stories that show why making these opportunities accessible matters. Why this matters now? As we continue to navigate a shifting labor market, the ongoing skills gap, and the challenges left in the wake of the pandemic, the need for innovative work-based learning models has never been greater. These models just don't help meet the growing demand for skilled workers. They also ensure the opportunities are accessible and equitable for people of all backgrounds. Work-based learning connects individuals directly with real-world life experiences, helping them build relevant skills and form meaningful connections with employers and their communities. Again, we're going to hear about the community too, how this helps the community out, putting those dollars back into the community. I'm looking forward to sharing these key elements of our work-based learning approach and how they come together to create a real career pathway. Here's what we'll cover. We'll cover our work-based learning models. We'll start with an overview of these different models that combine hands-on experience with classroom learning. Programs designed to build career readiness and bridge the gap between education and employment. We'll talk a little bit about apprenticeships, how they provide structured, paid, on-the-job training for both the participant and employers benefit from this model. None of this works without a strong partnership. We're going to talk about partnerships, finding a champion at these community-based organizations or at these employers. Having a champion you work with really helps. Finally, I'll introduce our parent-mentor paid internship program, an innovative approach that supports both schools and families by addressing the teacher shortage while empowering parents to serve as mentors. Together, these strategies create a strong, inclusive framework for workforce development that supports individuals, strengthens communities, and builds a more resilient economy. To give you some context, here's a quick snapshot of our local workforce in Lake County. We have over 700,000 residents, over 30,000 employers. Our labor force in March was at 363,000, which was 6,000 less than year-over-year comparison from last March. Our current unemployment rate is at 4.6. These numbers paint a picture of both stability and change, and I know you're going through it as well. Looking ahead, one of the biggest shifts we're preparing for is a wave of retirements. I know we're all seeing that. By 2027 in Lake County, we're going to lose 16,000 residents to retirement. So how do we fill that gap? Plus, we're dealing with the tight labor market. So the pressure's on the employers to train and keep skilled talent. And where do they find that talent? This is where work-based learning becomes so important. These programs help us bridge that gap, building a pipeline of talent that's prepared to step into critical roles and keep our economy rolling. Our business service team plays a key role in connecting the dots between employers and job seekers. We're focused on creating a smart, responsive workforce solution that supports both sides of the labor market. We're working with job seekers, we're working with these employers. We're employer-led, we're part of the business service team. We act as the bridge, helping those businesses find the talent they need while also making sure individuals have access to training and support to succeed in today's economy. At the end of the day, our goal is simple: to help businesses grow, people thrive, and that's how we contribute to a broader economic growth across Lake County. One of the first tools we use when connecting with employers, community-based organizations, or training providers is our value proposition statement. It's a clear, simple way to help explain who we are, what we do, and how we can help, especially in a space that can be full of jargon or acronyms. To make our message more accessible, especially for small businesses or our partners new to the workforce system, we organized our services into 3 main pillars: workforce solutions, workforce training, and a workforce ecosystem. Now let's dive into our most effective tool under work-based training, paid work experience. We often describe this to our employers as a 5-month job interview. It's a low-risk, high-reward opportunity for employers to assess potential talent and for job seekers to get real-world experience. How it works: we cover 100% of the participants' wages for up to 6 months. Our staffing partner, Salem Staffing, handles all the onboarding and payroll. It's a seamless setup for employers. By using the staffing agency, this is a kind of a game changer for us. It helps streamline our process by removing the payroll part. So my team can go out and really talk to the other employers, and they're not sitting back trying to figure payroll every week. Plus, the partnership with Salem has given us an opportunity to go to them and say, hey, let us borrow some of the employers from your portfolio. I have a high school that wants these 10 kids in the CTE program to go view this factory. So they've been able to provide other partnerships for us. What we focus on in the placements is a clear career pathway, sustainable wages, and opportunities for mentorship and hands-on training. This model gives employers the freedom to take a chance on candidates who might not check every box, but who have the drive, the potential to grow into that role. And for job seekers, it's a powerful way to build confidence, close skills gaps, and gain meaningful resume building experience. It's a win-win for employers to fill real staffing needs at no cost. And participants take meaningful steps towards long-term employment. Over the past 3 fiscal years, our paid work experience program has had a measurable impact. In 2022, we had 158 trainees. Again, we had braided funding then, which with the ARPA program that we had in Lake County. In 23, we had 73, and this year we were at 54, but we're gonna get close to 70, 75 this year. What we found is a 4-to-1 return on investment. So once the work experience ends, these people are getting full-time roles. The wages they gain after that is a 4-to-1 return. That made it worth it. They've been placed in a wide range of industries. We're big in manufacturing in Lake County, biopharma, but we've also placed in construction, healthcare, transportation. So we place CNC machinists, youth counselors, paraprofessionals roles in education. We're going to hear a little bit about that program later on. So why does this matter? Because the benefits of this program extend well beyond the individual participant. Small businesses gain access to talent. These businesses in turn reinvest into your local economy. We're also helping close that skills gap. It's a skills first movement going forward. These employers have to learn that when they do a job description, list the skills that are actually needed, because there's transferable skills out there from these people that maybe you haven't looked at in the past. On a broader level, investments like this can spark entrepreneurship and innovation, laying the foundation for new services, products, and even emerging industries. And let's not forget, small businesses employ nearly half of the private workforce in the U.S., making them essential to our economic health. In short, each work experience placement is not just a training opportunity, it's a strategic investment for these employers, for our community. To make sure every paid work experience is successful for both the employer and the trainee, we use a structured, well-documented process. These documents not only clarify expectations, but also help us stay compliant, consistent, and accountable throughout the placement. We have the work experience contract, the individual training outline. This is where we get specific, and this is important for the trainee especially, because it's outlined what they want to learn, what they need to learn for this position. We're training them up. That's why this outline is important. We have a supervisor's handbook, hourly wage documentation. But not only that, we do ongoing monitoring. We do 30-day check-ins. We have a 60-day monitoring document for the employer. This structure, clear documentation up front and consistent follow-up helps us create meaningful, goal-oriented placements, and it benefits everyone involved. Now I want to put a little spotlight on some success that we've had with our Work, Earn, and Learn program. This program is targeted at an initiative that supports talent development by aligning directly with employer needs. We've partnered with organizations like Lake County's Emergency Management Department, Baxter Credit Union, Consumers Credit Union, to create tailored training pathways. So we were very intentional in this. In this example, the program was built specifically to support employer and emergency management sector. We launched a focused recruitment that included flyers. So we made these flyers, we sent them out to the community. These job seekers responded, and then we had information sessions. So we'd get 15 to 20 people come to this information session. We'd explain what the job was all about. And once from there, we handpicked 4 or 5 people that got to interview with emergency management. And from there, they were hired, and we went into this program. One of those individuals was Dan. Dan came to us with a strong passion for emergency management, but he lacked the technical skills and direct experience needed to step into a senior leadership role. Through the WELL program and a paid work experience, Dan got exactly what he needed. Dan is now the Deputy Director of the Joint Emergency Management System in Chicago. Also, we found out yesterday that Lake County Emergency Management was honored with the Emergency Management Agency in Illinois. So they were the top emergency management department. So kudos to them. His story is a great example of what's possible when we work directly with the employers and design learning models that are both intentional and aligned to real working needs. Now I just want to play a short video that'll show how we engaged with emergency management.
Hello, I'm Sarah Espeland, an account executive with the business services team of Lake County Workforce Development. I'm excited to introduce you to a success story we have in partnership with the Lake County Emergency Management. Utilizing the federal grant funds through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, we're able to match job seekers to employers and offer paid work experiences where the individual gains valuable skills on the job as well as earning a check. And at the end, sometimes they're lucky enough to get hired. And that's what we'll share with you today.
My name is Dan Eder. I am the program manager with the Lake County Emergency Management Agency. So as a department of Lake County, we knew about the Workforce Development Program, and we have these folks, either volunteers or people that are in the community that want to get into emergency management. And the biggest challenge is to get into this program, you kind of have to have experience. And so we found there's this great Work, Earn, Learn program where interns can come in, get experience, paid experience, and we are able to connect them with a lot of different groups so they can learn about what we do, but also a lot of our peers and see what's the best job opportunity for them.
Hi, my name is Bree Kingshot. I work with Lake County Emergency Management Agency as their new emergency management specialist. I moved to the U.S. I had been a paramedic in Toronto for 15 years. I stayed home for a while and I was looking for a new career opportunity. I found emergency management and it piqued my interest. I thought that my background would be beneficial for this type of career. When I met with Dan, we had a great conversation and I realized that this was probably going to be a good fit for me.
So our previous intern, Bree, actually completed 2 really successful projects. He contributed a school resource guide. We also applied for Storm Ready certification, which is with the National Weather Service. We just needed someone to take the devoted time to put the application process together and coordinate it. And we did just recently get the Storm Ready certifications.
When I came on, I was given the project to make a resource guide and then present at a school safety quarterly meeting. I had a lot of support from my team. I was able to create this resource guide independently. There was a lot of trust, so it really allowed you to gain confidence in your ability to proceed through the project.
Our current intern, Dan DeGrazia, has really dived into radio and helped us kind of coordinate those aspects. So having interns that can take the time, but in cases like Dan, who has the IT background and some of the expertise, we can mirror previous expertise with current projects.
My name is Dan DeGrazia, and I am an intern here at Lake County Emergency Management Agency. I'm actually one of the people that started out as a volunteer here. One of the great things about being here is this is real life. When you think about the projects I've been involved in, probably the most important one would be a radio project. We're actually refreshing over 3,000 radios across the county. We have to make sure that our emergency responders can get to not just their own dispatchers, but can talk to each other.
The best part for interns to have work experience at our agency is they do want to get credentials experience. So we do regular trainings, often a few times a month. So we've had interns that have actually walked away with not only just certificates from classes, but the actual plaque from the state.
We've had interns come through here who literally hadn't taken a single class, and they walk out of here with, a bag of certifications. What I set out to do in this program was level up. It was to polish skills that I had and turn them actually into something where I'm a professional. And people are noticing that. And the contacts that I'm getting in this program are ones that are reaching out to me and encouraging me to apply to their programs.
For job seekers, when you get into an internship, take all educational opportunities that are put in front of you. Ask questions, assert yourself, and know that your background probably has more importance than maybe you give it. Something that you have done will relate to what you're doing in your new job. So just go into everything with confidence.
The WELL program was absolutely perfect for me because, as I said, it met me at my skill level, and it will meet you at yours.
Those are the partnerships I'm talking about right there. They buy in. And a lot of times if you're talking to the CEO, you get the company buy-in. These programs can be a lot more successful. So they're one of our go-to agencies that we go to place people. Now let's move on to on-the-job training. You guys have heard about it. Again, it's a work, earn, and learn model, but it's a direct hire initiative. So while our work experience program provides a valuable introduction to the workforce, our on-the-job training program is designed for employers ready to bring in candidates as full-time employees, but who may need a little bit of training to get them up to speed. Through the OJT program, employers can hire a participant, provide occupation-specific training on the job. In return, employers receive wage reimbursements for up to 90% for that training period. Here are a few key details about how the program works. Training is delivered on the job and must directly relate to the occupation. Employers must provide the same wage, benefits, and working conditions as they do for other employees at similar roles. After the training period, an employer must continue to employ the participant, ensuring long-term employment stability. This model is particularly effective for individuals transitioning into new industries. It allows them to apply their transferable skills, you're going to hear that now, while receiving hands-on learning in real time. For employers, the OJT program significantly reduces the financial risk of hiring someone who may need additional training. The reimbursement funds can be reinvested into the business, creating a win-win for both the company and the new hire. Let's take a closer look at the impact of our on-the-job training program over the last 3 years. We partnered with over 30 employers to place 35 individuals, and that number is probably closer to 40 as we speak. By doing so, we've been able to offset employer training costs, easing the financial burden of upskilling new hire. We know the burden of onboarding, running ads and Indeed, those aren't free. But through this program, we can help direct candidates to the employer at no cost and then reimburse up to 90% of the wages. One of the standout success stories from this program is we placed a CNC machinist. He began in an OJT role and has since transitioned into the U.S. Department of Labor registered apprenticeship. He's training as a tool and die maker while attending the College of Lake County to earn his associate's degree in tool making. This is a perfect example how the OJT can serve as a launch pad for long-term career growth. Some of the program benefits, new hires. For new hires, the OJT provides paid hands-on training. For employers, it reduces onboarding costs. It helps companies develop a skilled, loyal workforce. For apprenticeships, an OJT can also serve as an entry point into structured training pathways, leading to industry-recognized credentials and degrees, supporting continuous learning and long-term career advancement. In short, this program strengthens our local talent pipeline and helps employers stay competitive in a rapidly evolving industry. Now I've mentioned that word champion a couple times. We have a champion here at this company, Domini Tool and Stamping. They're a leader in workforce and economic development. It's a family-owned business specializing in metal stamping. They promote careers in manufacturing. They actively participate in our job fairs, our expos, and other industry events that we hold. They offer internships, apprenticeships, and scholarships for those interested in metal stamping and advanced manufacturing. They support education. They provide sustainable employment, continuously investing in technology and equipment to enhance productivity, quality, and efficiency. And that champion at this company is John Castillo. They participate in our work experience program, on-the-job training, and they take advantage of our incumbent worker dollars to train up their individuals. You can see in the picture, the president of the company, Steve Smith, in 2023 was an IWP Business Leadership Award winner. DCEO Deputy Director Julio Rodriguez and past IWP President Tony Furman are pictured handing them the award. Again, finding these champions. We've had sector engagements with 13, 14 manufacturers. John will sit at the head of the table and explain our program. Here's what a work experience program. Here's our OJT program. Well, how do you get the buy-in? And he explains how he gets the buy-in. He says, we're gonna do training, we're gonna do education. If you find you don't like this job and you want to find another job, I'll help you find another job. So he really works with these candidates to keep them in his company if he can, but he really wants them to be successful. And the other employers listen to him. That's what it's all about, getting these sectors of employers together and talking about the program, how it works. Yeah, sometimes there's some paperwork to do. Sometimes the candidate may not work out, but in the long run, he sells it for us. So having those champions are very important. As we mentioned, our OJT program and work experience initiatives are powerful workforce solutions, but there's another valuable tool, and we're hearing a lot about it now, and that's apprenticeships. At Lake County Workforce Development, we are proud to offer specialized support through our apprenticeship specialist, Sarah Espelon. She was actually supposed to be here today, but she's talking in another presentation right now. She plays a crucial role helping individuals and employers navigate the world of the apprenticeship opportunities that are out there. She helps with recruitment and engagement. She gives personalized support. She gives career guidance, and she helps with employer coordination to develop these customized apprenticeship programs. By investing in an apprenticeship, businesses can close the skills gap, future-proof their workforce, and ultimately enhance productivity and profitability. Again, some employer highlights: Domini Tool and Stamping. They registered a toolmaker apprenticeship, and they supported it with OJT funds. LMT Onsrod registered a new CNC tool and cutter grinder apprenticeship. We used OJT funds with one of their employees, but yet they do 10 employees are going through their incumbent worker training program where they're attending the local college. UCC Environmental registered a new program for a structural drafter apprenticeship, and they just hired one, and he's going through the training as we speak. These employers are leading the way in creating skilled talent pipelines and addressing workforce challenges, with apprenticeships providing the foundation for a sustainable workforce development. We've forged strong partnerships with employers to establish these RAPs that create valuable workforce development opportunities. Here's some other examples. The Lake County Housing Authority, they support through OJT funds. TU Construction, we have 2 new OJTs just starting eligibility this week. Waukegan Public Schools is a unique one. We're going to talk a little bit about our parent mentor program we've had with some of the paras in our grade school system, but the high school is taking their paras and they're doing a registered apprenticeship where these paras are going to have a degree in 2 years and they'll be able to teach. They'll get their teaching certificate. That's pretty powerful to go from a para to a teacher, and it's helping fill that void left by our teacher shortage. Upon graduation, these paraprofessionals will be earning $56,000 through this apprenticeship. It's funded by Pell Grants, the school district, and workforce development. Pretty proud to be a part of that. This model has gained attention from other districts because we work closely with the Regional Office of Education, and now they're exploring this opportunity as well. So we'll see next year if we have a couple other schools joining in. By leveraging WIOA funds and developing an RAP, these employers not only address workforce shortages, but also build strong, sustainable career pathways. Again, this is important. If you have shortages in manufacturing and education, look for ways to create that pipeline. One particular apprenticeship, the YDPA, the Youth Development Practitioner Apprenticeship Program, launched in January of 2024 in a collaboration between the National Association of Workforce Boards, the National Institute for Work and Learning, and FHI 360. This initiative is designed to help elevate the skills and professional development of individuals working in youth-serving organizations. The program started with 19 from 7 youth-serving organizations, 9 mentors, and at the end so far, 9 have earned their DOL certifications. This competency-based program offers 2,000 hours of on-the-job training and 165 hours of related coursework. It enrolls apprentices from local organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club of Lake County and the Youth Build Lake County to support the youth in personal and career development. Sarah Espelon, our apprenticeship specialist, was actually a graduate as well. So this program promotes equity, access, and professional development, fostering a collaboration network of professionals committing to improving youth outcomes and addressing workforce challenges in Lake County. At Lake County Workforce Development, we understand that strategic partnerships are essential to the success of our workforce development initiatives. The following 10 key strategic partnerships play a crucial role in supporting our mission and expanding our impact. Rosalind Franklin University, they help us bring sectors together in healthcare. We'll talk about that a little bit in the next slide. CLC and their Manufacturing Alliance. We attended an event there Tuesday, and it was a packed room of manufacturers discussing training, discussing common problems. But by bringing these groups together, they're more familiar with each other. They're more likely to reach out and ask for help, or hey, this worked for me, is this gonna work for you? Again, it starts with the employer. They're taking advantage. They need these job seekers that we have. ASIS, the Hispanic American Community and Economic Service nonprofit. They have the para program that we're going to talk about here in 2 minutes. Again, we talked about Waukegan Public Schools, United Way, who is actually the connector for that para program we're going to talk about, Legacy Reentry, Midwest Veterans Closet. Partnerships enable us to work with various stakeholders, businesses, educational institutions, workforce organization, and community resources to ensure the delivery of coordinated and impactful services. One of the strategies we use to connect sector employers with workforce development programs is hosting industry summits. Here's an example of our healthcare summit, which we held in partnership with Rosalind Franklin University. We held a job fair in the morning with 25 employers. We ended with 85 job seekers for that. In the afternoon, another 25 employers joined us for a total of 50 at this summit. We had the vice president of the Illinois Hospital Association give a presentation and led a Q&A with the employers that were in the room. This really led to a robust partnership with some of those agencies that attended. They had questions, especially in healthcare. We're experiencing burnout. What can we do? We're overworking. We're understaffed. So that was just phase one. Phase two is actually working with them individually. And again, if we have high schoolers that need exposure to this industry, can we come out to your place? Can we see what you're doing there? At the summit, employers not only network with each other, but they also gain valuable insights to the latest trends and innovations in their field. Again, we talked about relationship building. We talked about work-based learning and apprenticeship opportunities. These follow-up interactions demonstrate the value of apprenticeships in closing the skills gap within organizations. Real quickly, Legacy Reentry Partnership, they've successfully placed 22 justice-impacted individuals in our work experience program. They also act as a job center on the move site. This initiative allows us to bring essential workforce services directly to the community, helping individuals who may have difficulty accessing the job center. By meeting people where they are, we're able to help serve those in need and make workforce development accessible to everyone. ASIS. ASIS is a nonprofit based in Waukegan that provides a wide range of services to immigrants and their families. Over the past 2 years, we partnered with ASIS to bring more resources to our shared customers. One of the most impactful initiatives has been the Parent Mentorship Program, where they operate in partnership with United Way and the Waukegan Elementary School District. These paras have to have children in that school district to become a para there. Parents volunteer several times a week in the classroom and receive training in areas like literacy, digital skills, and mentoring. Those who complete their hours earn a modest stipend provided by United Way. New in 2024, we piloted a paid internship expansion of that program. 9 parent mentors had the opportunity to work directly with the Waukegan School District, gaining hands-on experience and exploring full-time roles in education. So far, 2 parents have been hired full-time as paraprofessionals. The internship helped demystify the process of entering the school system and gave parents the confidence and experience to pursue a career in education. We also did a train-the-trainer session. To keep the building on this momentum, the program's manager and coordinators recently attended a train-the-trainer workshop at the Job Center. They learned about resume development, AI tools that can help bring back to support the over 50 mentors in the program. Why does this matter? This partnership with OSIS is a great example of how community collaboration can open doors for individuals and address real workforce needs. It's helping parents build confidence, gain skills, and transition into meaningful careers, while also strengthening the talent pipeline of our local schools. I know we're getting close to the end here, but here's a couple of success stories. Pictured here are Zulima and Yolanda, both parents with children in the Waukegan Public Schools. While they were working with OSIS, they learned about the Parent Mentor Program and immediately saw an opportunity to get involved in their children's schools and explore new career paths. They started as classroom volunteers, receiving a small stipend through United Way, but their involvement didn't stop there. They later transitioned into paid work experiences at the Waukegan Public School, where they truly began to build their careers. Yolanda followed a similar path as Zulima. She became a paraprofessional as life-changing, she described it. She worked one-on-one with a student this fall and continues supporting that same student as they entered 2nd grade. Yolanda says that while she's still learning every day, she feels far more confident and capable because of her time in the Parent Mentor Program. These kind of stories are what workforce development is all about. That's why we do what we do, connecting people to opportunity, building confidence, and helping them discover a path forward that works for their families and the future. Another partner agency, something that's dear to us because we have a base in Lake County, is the Midwest Veterans Closet. They've been able to they've taken advantage of our work experience program, and they've had 8 veterans go through the program. This is a perfect example of the partnerships and how workforce development can uplift those who've served, providing not just jobs, but purpose, connection, and stability. Real quickly, the College of Lake County, I mentioned their manufacturing alliance. They have a technology center. Really good partners to work with. We've tried to break down the silos. That manufacturing event that I said, where we gathered manufacturers, they actually put that together. We brought the employer to speak to that. Out of those 10 manufacturers, I believe 8 have engaged in our work experience program. So kudos to our local colleges, and I know all of you probably work with your local college if you're not from a local college. Again, I mentioned the Regional Office of Education, getting into the high schools, supporting their initiatives. That's where the pipeline starts. Let's start talking about the careers that they can go into. Again, manufacturing is not the manufacturing it used to be. Healthcare is not the healthcare it used to be. So again, forge these relationships and go from there. That's all I had for you today, and I know that we wanted to talk about that Para-Mentor program, and it was really impactful. And again, we talked about the work experience or the OJTs, and that's really how it started. And it started also with a partnership with United Way. they let us know that they had this program, but they need a little help. We need to get to the finish line. How do we get to the finish line? And that's where we came in to help support. So as of right now, does anybody have any questions that I could add? Yeah.
The paid work experience you had with the Salem
Staffing?
agency, who took care of the WIOA eligibility if you needed it, and who case managed those?
We did in-house. We had case managers that do the eligibility, and they case manage just from day one to day of hire, the onboarding. They do the onboarding. We actually do drug and background for employers that want that as well. They provide that for us. And before they start, that's completed by them. Yes, sir.
Good morning. For the youth development practitioner apprenticeship that you mentioned, how was the RTI set up, and like the number of hours, kind of who was doing it? Was it the organizations doing some of that RTI? Was it a split? And what were some of the credentials involved other than the DOL certificate?
I wish Sarah was here to answer that. I can tell you that FHI 360, and maybe Rasan can jump in there too.
Just like Jeff said, the FHI 360 was a training provider for that program, so they were the related training instructor providing the instruction portion of it. So they had to go through like 9 modules of core competencies in YDPA, and they just gained the YDPA certification through DOL.
Thank you.
Is your para to teacher certificate curricula customized curricula from your community college?
It's actually, we partnered with an organization called Bloomboard, and they seek training providers. I think this one's through Lake Erie College, but I know that there's a couple other, we're going to implement some more in the fall, and they're reaching out to other training providers, but I believe it was Lake Erie College in that one. You can contact me afterwards.
What type of fee scale or arrangement do you have with Salem Staffing for the administrative services?
Yep, we negotiated, we put it on an RFP for a staffing agency, and we negotiated a rate that was favorable and a lot less than we would normally pay directly.
There's a question in the chat online from the online participants that says, and this came much earlier in your presentation, so how does the staffing agency get paid? Does the employer pay them, or do you pay them?
We pay. We're invoiced monthly, or I guess it's weekly, by Salem Staffing, and our fiscal team cuts a check every week.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I mean, along similar lines, are they actually employed by Salem Staffing or by?
Yep. The employer is the work site. Salem Staffing is the employer of record.
Okay, so that would include, like, that's where if there was a workman's comp or an injury issue or anything like that, it's all Salem.
It's all Salem, correct. And they also track for us with the new law the time off. So they're gaining eligible hours for vacation time. Okay, I don't see any more questions out there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Everyone have a safe trip back home, and thanks for coming.